Your dog used to meet you at the door the second you walked in with excitement. Now they lift their head from the couch, maybe wag once, and settle back down. They used to sprint after a ball without hesitation or thought. Now they watch it bounce and look at you like, you go get it. They sleep more than they used to, often for hours at a time. They startle easier. Sudden noises, movements, even your voice can surprise them. Sometimes they stand in the middle of the room, staring at nothing, like they forgot what they were doing, where they were going. And you tell yourself it's just age. They're slowing down. That's normal. But neuroscientists studying canine cognitive decline say it's not just physical aging. It's neurological transformation happening deep inside their brain. Your dog's brain is changing in ways that affect how they see time, how they process fear, how they remember you, how they experience the world. The more you understand this, the clearer it becomes. Your old dog isn't distant. They're navigating a reality that's fundamentally different from 5 years ago. Let's start with what everyone notices first: their sleep patterns. Senior dogs sleep more, but it's not the same as puppy sleep. Puppies sleep 16 to 20 hours and wake up explosive, ready to play. Adult dogs average 12 to 14 hours of restful, deep sleep. Older dogs return to sleeping 16, sometimes 18 or even 20 hours. But the quality of that sleep has changed dramatically over time. Research into canine sleep architecture shows seniors spend less time in deep sleep. They stay in light sleep longer, waking more frequently throughout the night. They experience sleep fragmentation, where the brain never fully disengages. They're resting, but not recovering like they used to. This means your old dog is chronically tired, not lazy. Their brain isn't getting the restorative downtime it needs. Chronic low-level fatigue changes everything about their behavior. It shortens their patience, reduces tolerance for change, makes the world feel harder. They're not ignoring you. They're conserving energy because it's now limited. Now let's go deeper, because sleep disruption is linked to something bigger. Canine cognitive dysfunction syndrome, or CDS, is the dog version of dementia. It affects an estimated 35 to 40% of dogs over 8 years old. Not all, not even most, but enough that it's a real possibility. Early signs are subtle but telling. They forget commands they've known for years. They stare at walls for minutes at a time, get stuck behind furniture, bark at nothing, lose house training after being perfect for a decade, stop recognizing familiar people briefly, then seem to remember moments later. This isn't behavioral defiance, it's neurological breakdown. Beta amyloid plaques, same as in human Alzheimer's, are building in their brain. These disrupt communication between neurons and degrade processing speed. Memory falters, spatial awareness fails, internal clocks break down. Your dog isn't being stubborn, their brain is misfiring and losing connections. And here's the hardest part: many dogs with CDS experience sundowning. As daylight fades, confusion intensifies. They pace, pant, seem anxious for no reason. Researchers believe this mirrors circadian rhythm disruption in human dementia. The brain can't track time transitions well anymore. Day to night becomes disorienting. The world stops following predictable rules. Your dog isn't scared of the dark. They're scared because nothing makes sense. But not every senior dog has CDS. Some age with sharp minds. For these dogs, what's happening is still significant but different. There's a phenomenon called neophobia, fear of new things, as animals age. Young dogs explore, investigate, are curious about novelty. Old dogs pull back. A new person causes stress. A routine change throws them off. A different walking route triggers anxiety. This isn't personality change. It's neurological. The aging brain becomes less plastic, less adaptable. Pathways that processed novelty efficiently begin to degrade. When the brain can't handle new input quickly, novelty feels threatening. Your old dog isn't antisocial. They're protecting themselves from overload. Predictability equals safety when the world feels unstable. Now let's talk about something almost never discussed: time perception. Evidence suggests dogs experience time differently as they age. For a young dog, an 8-hour absence feels like an eternity. For an older dog, the same gap may not register the same way. Memory consolidation, the brain's ability to mark events as important, declines. Your dog might not remember you left, they just know you're back. The past blurs. The future doesn't compute. They live almost entirely in the present. Not because they're enlightened, but because their brain can't hold on to much else. That's why they don't get as excited when you come home. Not because they love you less, because the contrast between absence and presence fades. Everything softens. Highs aren't as high, lows aren't as low. They're not depressed, they're neurologically flattened. Emotional regulation requires cognitive resources, and those are depleted, so their muted response to things that once thrilled them isn't indifference. It's the quieting of a system that can no longer sustain intensity. But here's the part that reframes everything. Despite all this, they still know you. Study after study shows even dogs with advanced CDS retain recognition of their bonded human. They forget commands, forget routines, forget where they are, but they recognize your voice, your scent, your presence. Because the bond isn't stored in short-term memory or logic centers, it's embedded in the limbic system, the oldest, deepest part of the brain, the part handling emotion, attachment, survival. And that degrades last. Your dog might not remember breakfast, but they remember that you matter. That's not sentimentality, that's neuroscience. The brain prioritizes what's essential for survival. For a dog, you are that. So when your old dog doesn't come running to the door, it's not rejection. When they sleep through your arrival, it's not apathy. When they seem confused or distant, it's not a choice. It's a brain running on failing hardware, trying to make sense of chaos. And through all of it, they still know you. They still seek your presence, still settle faster when you're near. Because the bond doesn't require memory, it requires recognition. And that, they still have. So what do you do with this knowledge? You adjust your expectations. You stop expecting your old dog to be who they were at 3. You give them routine. It's the scaffolding holding their day together. You avoid forcing new situations unless absolutely necessary. You let them sleep. Even if it's fragmented, it's their only repair mechanism. You watch for red flags, pacing, staring spells, house training accidents, aggression. If you see them, talk to your vet. Some symptoms are manageable. Supplements, prescription diets, medications can slow cognitive decline. It won't reverse it. But it can buy precious time. And time with an old dog is everything. The hardest truth? The dog you've known for 10 years might become unfamiliar. They might not play, might not greet you, might stand in a corner, lost. You'll wonder if they even know who you are. Then they'll look at you, and something shifts in their eyes. For 5 seconds, the old spark returns. The recognition, the knowing. Then it fades. But it was there. That's what aging looks like in a dog. Not graceful decline, not peaceful slowing. It's a slow fragmentation of systems that once made them whole. But the core, the attachment, the bond that lasts. It outlasts memory, outlasts coordination, outlasts nearly everything. Because the part of your dog that loves you fails last. And until that part goes, they're still yours. And you're still theirs. If this changed how you see your old dog, subscribe and leave a comment. How old is your dog? And what's the one thing that's changed most? And if you've ever wondered why your dog refuses a command they clearly understand, watch next. The explanation will show it's not defiance, it's intelligence. The science behind it will change how you train forever.